What's up everybody, Peter Does Photography here, back with another video. Today we're going to look at are DSLRs dead? What do you think? So today's example we have the Canon Eos 1DX Mark I, this being the original from 2012. This camera is an absolute beast, it's not let me down yet. This particular one has over 1.5 million clicks, so you normally see on camera websites that the shutter will be rated for 150,000. These pro bodies are rated for about 400,000. This has triple that and it's still going without skipping a beat. So the basic question we're asking today, are DSLRs dead? Short answer, no. Long answer, they may be eventually. So I'll get into that just now. Right now, mirrorless cameras are all the rage. They have been for a few years now. Canon, Nikon, Fujifilm all have a range of mirrorless cameras. Right now I'm filming on a DSLR. You probably wouldn't know if I told you if it was a DSLR or a mirrorless camera. This being a DSLR as well. Personally, I like DSLRs for that chunky shutter click. You can hear this being the 1DX. You don't get that in a mirrorless camera. It just doesn't happen. You can see the mirror just moving. Probably shouldn't do this to be fair, but you can kind of see inside the camera. In the 1DX, it's an absolute machine gun. One of the reasons I like DSLRs over mirrorless cameras is the weight. Personally, I like a heavy camera. It might just be me. I'm a little bit weird that way. I know everyone's preferring a lighter rig, a smaller rig. Personally, I just like the heft and the build quality of a pro body DSLR. This being magnesium, you can kind of see there's some wear around the camera. You can see just there, around different parts of the body. To me, that just adds to the character. It shows the camera is being used. So why haven't I switched to mirrorless cameras? The simple answer is cost. Right now, for me to get the equivalent of the 1DX, it would be an R5 or an R6. Personally, right now, that's just well out of the way in terms of budget. This I picked up for £500. It's a 2012 Pro Body DSLR, and as I mentioned, it's got over 1.5 million clicks on the shutter. It's not let me down yet. So what are the pros of a mirrorless camera over a DSLR? One, as I mentioned, would be weight. Two, the amount of focus points a mirrorless camera have now. I'm sure the EOS R has a couple thousand autofocus points, whereas this has 61 autofocus points. Back in the day, that was fantastic. Nowadays, it's a bit light on that end. More benefits of a mirrorless camera would also be the lenses you can get for them. So I know the Canon RF glass is absolutely fantastic. It's some of the best glass in the game. Again, Fujifilm do their own mirrorless glass. Sony have all the mirrorless camera stuff, etc. now as well. So you may be thinking, as a new photographer coming into the field of photography, should I just jump on the mirrorless bandwagon or should I pick up a cheap DSLR to practice with? Personally, I would pick up the cheaper DSLR. I don't necessarily mean going and buying a pro body like the 1DX. However, you can pick up crop sensor bodies or even 6D Mark IIs, 5D Mark IIIs, etc. All those are fantastic cameras, especially if you're going to learn. It's a lot cheaper to get glass for DSLRs than it is for mirrorless cameras. You can get an adapter, however, again, that's going to cost more money. You then have to buy RF lenses. If you don't want to go the adapter route, it then just accumulates. And as a beginner or someone starting in the field, it's not the best route to go. So why did I pick the 1DX as a DSLR to run in the field when I could get something a lot newer? Personally, trying to get something built like this for the price tag that I got the camera at, you just can't do it. So you can see the amount of controls the camera has on the back there. Trying to get all these different things on a small camera isn't the best. The ergonomics of this camera as well, I can shoot portrait, I can shoot landscape just with the built-in grip, which again for me is perfect. My next plan would probably be to pick up a used EOS R. I'm currently filming on a 750D right now. I could do with the EOS R and having those extra focus points, the dual pixel autofocus as well, because this 750D doesn't have it. So having dual pixel autofocus would be great, especially for vlogging. I vlog with this camera, I haven't noticed any issues. This brings me to a point with older cameras and why I think mirrorless have another leg up in this respect. This was a £5,000 to £6,000 body when it came out back in 2012. The video functionality, even though it wasn't really built for that, isn't the best. However, as a photo taking machine, it absolutely kicks other cameras up and down the field. However, I would have liked an autofocus where it tracked my face like this camera's doing just now, and it will just follow me around the camera. This doesn't have that. Some more things about the mirrorless cameras include the EOS M series, which is the M50, the M60 kind of type cameras, the really little compact ones that Canon do. Those are really good as well. You can get the EF to EF-M adapter, so you can use your big chunky EF lenses with the tiny little compact mirrorless body, which, to be fair, I end up might just going that route for filming. It's a great wee kit just to have. You can chuck it on the GorillaPod and you're not causing yourself too much stress, and you can pick them up for pretty cheap nowadays as well. DSLRs still have a long life left ahead of them. Not everyone can afford to jump straight into mirrorless. Some people prefer DSLRs, again like myself, having that rapid shutter speed with that nice chunky click of the shutter going on and off. I know mirrorless cameras have up to 30 frames, 50 frames a second, all that kind of thing. I just prefer having a nice chunky shutter release when I press the shutter button. One thing about everyone jumping on the mirrorless bandwagon is these kind of pro DSLRs are then going to go quite cheap. This being the Mark 1DX, still £500 even though it was made in 2012, a decade ago. However, the Mark 2 is getting cheaper as well. The Mark 3 is still, it's still in the sky. It's insane how well that's keeping its value. But you can pick up a used Mark II for about £1,500 to £2,000, which is about a £3,000 or £4,000 saving to when it was new. One other thing about mirrorless cameras is the electronic viewfinder. This makes life so much easier for photographers and makes a very good photographer even better. We all know how to properly expose a subject, however having that electronic viewfinder over an optical viewfinder is going to prove so much more useful in the long run. Most pro, even entry level mirrorless cameras have eye detection, face detection, animal detection, car detection, detection for everything, whereas these rely on you, yourself, finding the subject, and it's really about it. Going off of the focus system for mirrorless cameras, again, it just supersedes everything that DSLRs can do. Nowadays, you can throw a 1.2 50mm lens on it and you'll nail focus in the eye every single time. With a DSLR, shooting at such a wide aperture, you might miss left or right, you might have some soft focus here or there. I probably sound like I'm bigging up mirrorless cameras even though I use DSLRs. I love both. I love cameras, I love taking pictures, I love taking video. It just depends on what you want to use. Personally, right now I'm using DSLRs. Being able to push this camera to its limit, especially being a decade old now and still coming away with banger photos, personally for me that isn't worth spending more money on getting a mirrorless camera. I will upgrade to a mirrorless camera for filming, however for photography I much prefer using a big chunky DSLR body like this one. So what do you think? Are DSLRs dead? Are they going anywhere anytime soon? Are mirrorless taking over and kicking everyone to the curb with a DSLR? Let me know. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe and comment. Ring that bell button as well if you want to stay reminded with a future video. Thank you very much again. Peace out.